Welcome to Pokemon Masters Council. We're coming at you with another how to use guide. Today we got another Paradox Pokemon from the future. We're looking at IronBundle. And I'm not alone. As usual, I got my co-host, Zero. What's up, buddy?
Not much, guys. You know the drill. I've been saying it every video. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. We do how to use guides like this. We do battle videos. We do a podcast every 2 weeks. We sprinkle in a little bit of Pokemon cards. If any of that kind of stuff interests you, hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We would love to have you along. If this guide helps you at all in your IronBundle building, leave a like and subscribe.
Well said, well said. So IronBundle is obviously the Paradox form from the future, from Violet, from your game. This is Mr. Joseph G. This is one of his favorite Pokemon of all time. He loves the stupid Delibird, and I gotta tell you, aesthetically, I'm actually a really big fan of the IronBundle. It doesn't quite show up as it does on the still image, but in game, his red armor is actually like a shimmering, shining metallic red, almost like candy apple red, like Iron Man's suit, right? It actually looks pretty dope. I'm actually a big fan. He's got skis for feet. I like this aesthetically.
Yeah, he's actually got a beautiful chrome red kind of look. The same as Caesar. Caesar got that same kind of polish.
Well said, man. Chrome red.
Yeah. So, yeah, aesthetically, I agree. It's a pretty simple redesign.
But he's fun, right? He's holding his tail, but he's got that glowing thing, and the metallic really is what makes it sing.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a big winner. Sorry to all you Delibird players, the 0.01% of you that like Delibird. This one is a little bit better, and it's probably going to see more usage. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely more competitive viable. Let's talk about it. So, as usual, Zero, we are over on Pokemon DB. What do we get with this little penguin?
So, first and foremost, we got that ice and water typing. Honestly, not a good typing. Right?
No, defensively, it's bad, right?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's one of the worst defensive typings that we've seen in the game, to be perfectly honest.
But
because
offensively
speaking, and the fact that it has access to freeze dry, which is a move that's super effective against water, amongst all the other things that ice is good against, it becomes really strong. It's got a really, really strong dual stat because it has freeze dry. So it's able to hit everything in the game. Hydro Pump plus freeze dry is an unresisted combination in the game right now. So
as long as you hit those hydro pumps.
So moving on, we've got the ability, we've got Quark Drive. If you're standing on electric terrain or holding the booster energy, you will get a +1 to your highest stat.
Yep.
In this case, you've got a couple things really that you're going to be boosting, and that's either your special attack or your speed. If we go down to the stats, we'll go through them here with you. 56 HP, bad, right?
Pretty F tier.
Yes. 80 attack, doesn't matter. We won't really be using that 80 attack. 114 defense.
Very respectable, Zero. That is way higher than I was expecting for this little guy.
Yeah. This Pokemon will live. It takes a lot of 2-hit KOs on the physical side. So it's got that 56 HP, but makes up for it on the physical side with 114 defense. Actually bulkier than it looks. 124 special attack. Pretty high special attack these days.
That's pushing our Ball of a Gardevoir territory, and they are no slouch on the special attack department.
Right. Then we've got one of the weakest links here. We've got that 60 special defense. If you want to attack this thing, hit it on that special side if you can, especially for super effective. That's where you're going to make your money.
Luckily, your super effective hits most of the time are going to be coming in the form of those special hits like Thunderbolt or Giga Drain, etc.
And then last, but very much not least, 136 speed. 1 speed higher than Fluttermane, Justin.
1 speed higher than Chien-Pao, Zero. This is absolutely crucial. It's one of those things that Pokemon Company, Game Freak do intentionally throughout the times. We've talked about this when certain Pokemon have 29 speed or 30 or 31 for Trick Room. This is one of those pokes in regular speed. The meta was around 135. That was the benchmark to beat outside of Regieleki coming in through the home update. But in terms of what's viable right now in Regulation C, 136 is now the new place to be. So this boy coming in being able to set up a lot of very powerful moves ahead of the opponents or ahead of his allies, which could be very, very useful.
And honestly, let's just kind of get into our first slide, because we're going to talk about how we can make use of this 136 speed and how the Pokemon has kind of evolved over the time of the game from release to, 6 to 7 months later, which is now.
So the first set, this is basically, this can definitely work in singles, but the more offensive kind of build, but this is kind of what I like to build right now in VGC. This is what Zero and I have been using so far when we do bring the bundle in any of our double squads so far in Regulation C. We're obviously going with the Quark Drive all the time, no need to say it. Timid, I don't think that's going to change either. Maybe I'm wrong, but Timid is the way to go.
No.
Max beneficial speed for that 136. You want to make sure that you are maximizing his potential with that highest stat he has. For me, there are some pretty interesting options here for items and Terra types, but the EVs, not really subject to change here. You just kind of want to go fast, hit hard. Icy Wind is very powerful, really good in VGC to spread damage as well as spreading the slow. It's 100% every time you hit somebody with Icy Wind, they're going to drop 1 stage in speed. So very useful there, not to mention it's stab, so it kind of mitigates a little bit of that spread move damage reduction. Then, as Zero said before, we have the Freeze, Dry, and Hydro Pump. Now, you can swap out Hydro Pump for Chilling Water if you want the better accuracy, but much lower damage. Also, you can go Taunt. Very viable option, especially at 136 speed. Fastest there. Being able to taunt people ahead of certain moves. Very, very powerful. Stopping Trick Room teams. A lot of good stuff. And then either Protect or Flip Turn, depending on what you like. If you're trying to get out of there, proc some damage and flee. Protect. We don't have to say it, right? Protect in VGC is pretty much like the GOAT. Pretty much everybody that can run Protect will.
Yeah. And I've got a few things to say about this Pokemon, just kind of in general. I think what I find really interesting about this Pokemon is when the game first started, we saw IronBundle, we looked at the stat sheet, we looked at the moves, and we said, okay, this is a sweeper. Like, this is a Pokemon that's going to go really fast, clean up your end game. And it did so, in fact, in like showdown formats, but we didn't really see that in 3v3s, and we didn't really see that in VGC. So it's kind of been turned into this kind of Trixie, spread the Icy Wind, and become this utility Pokemon while also just dealing decent damage, right? Like, you're using this for the speed, kind of like you would with like something like Talonflame.
Yeah, he's definitely fallen into that one of our favorite niche that we like to coin the phrase on the channel, that offensive support.
Yeah.
Either the booster energy is really good, because obviously boosting that speed and or special attack, depending on how you utilize some of the EVs. I'm personally going to go speed, because I just want to be faster and everything. That's what's more important to me. Focus Sash is great too, because then it makes sure that you live for another turn. For Terra type Zero, I really do like Ghost Terra if I want to stay around for longevity, but either one of his stabs just for extra damage doing that double dip is a great option too. Just go more damage.
Yeah, the big thing with Ghost is it gets you through those fake outs and those drain punches that come in from Iron Hands. So that's super, super important, because they like to, kind of cycle around with Volt Switch and fake out, and
especially
just kind of
lead.
Exactly. So this gets you through that, lets you get off your Icy Wind or your Taunt or whatever it may be. And then another thing that you mentioned with the Hydro Pump and having Taunt, we have kind of seen a lot of players going away from Hydro Pump because of the accuracy issues. One that I'm sure you're very much on board with this, because we have infamously missed a lot of Hydro Pumps in our days.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, we're starting to see builds of IronBundle in big tournaments that are just running like Icy Wind, Freeze Dry, Protect, and then just another move like Encore or Substitute or something like that, or even Flip Turn or Taunt. So you don't need Hydro Pump if you kind of just accept this Pokemon's role as a supporter.
Yeah, IronBundle makes for a great sort of bait as well, because you're not really sure. Is he going to you're going to assume that he has the pump, so people might play around that, and if you don't even have it, that might get you some free switches you never even intended, or, whatever the case may be, right?
Bait out Terras.
Yep. Absolutely, being able to bait out Terras would be incredible. So, speaking of all of these Trixie stuff, I think that's a really good segue. We can go talk about the second set, which is definitely more along the lines of like what you're going to see in singles, but definitely viable in doubles still. But this is more of the, I guess we can call this like the Trixie offensive support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or we just call it what it is. This is the Encore set.
The Encore set, yeah, because...
Take us through it, buddy.
Yeah, so the first half of this, as far as the build goes, same thing. Quark Drive, Timid, max speed.
Yeah,
You're going to be using booster
not
energy.
a lot that can be, played with or diversified here, right? It's kind of like our Chen Pao guide, where there's certain pokes where there's just really one or two real EV spreads that are even worth a dang even trying, because that's just what he does.
Yep. And this is another one. You go booster energy on this one every single time.
Yeah.
Because you want that speed. You want that speed. And the reason for that is you want to be able to substitute on a Pokemon before they move. And the reason that we do that is so we know what move they're locked into. You can go protect instead of substitute as well. You can go sub or protect, either way, whatever you prefer. The reason we do that is, say you've got a Dragonite in front of you, right? Dragonite uses Dragon Dance. You're still faster with the +1 in the Quark Drive. Yep. You can encore that Dragonite back into Dragon Dance even after their +1. So, like, it's things like,
that's what makes booster energy speed so valuable at 136, because it makes sure that you maintain tempo.
Yes. And another thing is, like, you can lock certain Pokemon into moves that you can take advantage of, like, say, Mind.
Yep.
Right? Like, say you
Dragon Dance,
you
Swords Dance,
you use your substitute, and then the Flutter Mane in front of you clicks, Calm Mind or whatever. You have 1 point more speed of them and the booster energy. You can encore them into that. There's nothing they can do. They will be stuck in Calm Mind. So then they're forced to switch or lose the game.
And you can even encore people into Protect, which is super broken.
Yes, yeah. So there's a lot of things here. And then obviously, as far as the moves go, Freeze Dry and Hydro Pump, just take both of those. You can go Chilling Water if you really want. I think with this set, you have enough pressure, you can afford to miss a Hydro Pump once in a while, because you're encoring Pokemon into things that don't benefit them.
Yeah, good show.
Yeah, I just go Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, Sub, Protect, and then Encore. As far as Terras go Water or Ice for that increased damage, because we are going to be running that max special attack. Or if you just want to shed some weaknesses, go with Terra Electric.
I really like the electric shout. Neutral. I think that's a really good baseline, because obviously it's only weak to ground, so it sheds off all of those weaknesses or whatever, and trades it in for just a lonely one.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, man, why don't we head on over to Pikalytics and look at the usage stats and wrap this up.
In doubles right now, at the time of this recording, which is May 31st, IronBundle's sitting at number 5 for VGC 0.
Yeah, absolutely. A unit. It's a force to be reckoned with. It's a top 5 Pokemon. It's got everything it needs to perform. It does damage. Helps your team with Icy Wind, which, we see over here, 71% Icy Wind, Hydro Pump, Protect, and Freeze Dry. That's a whole set right there. Yeah,
literally what we were talking about in our VGC set in the first slide is literally right here, as you can see. And then the Encore, Blizzard, Aurora Veil, Flip Turn, Ice Beam, Chilling Water. It's labeled as an ice move, but it is obviously a water move. It's just a mistake there. But Aurora Veil's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I've seen this Pokemon go up like next to an Abomasnow.
Yep, which is his third highest partner.
Yeah, because this Pokemon is so fast, it'll set up a Veil before Abomasnow. So this Pokemon is much faster with the booster energy. It can get the Veil up before Abomasnow. So you could put up a Veil, and then you could run this bulky Abomasnow that actually trades hits. Because, sometimes you have to burn a Terra just to get off the Aurora Veil with Abomasnow. Not really worth it, in my opinion. So you can make better use of Abomasnow.
I think it's a great shout. I want to shout out here Ice, Ghost, Water. There's also Poison, Grass, Flying, Fire. Some pretty decent options in the Terra department. 97% Timid, like we talked about. Booster Energy at 82. It's mostly what we're going to be seeing. If we flip this coin over 0 and we look at singles, Battle Stadium singles, Regulation C on the Switch, he's number 7. And we see Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, Encore, and Sub. Exactly what your boys be bringing to the table. And he's paired a lot with D-Knight, Goldango, Chen Pao. So basically, again, he is going to lock somebody down. So that way your D-Knight can set up a Dragon Dance or your whatever the case may be in doubles, right? But in singles, what are we seeing here?
Like Dragon Dance.
Okay, so it's still going to be a big Dragon Dancer in singles too. So maybe you'll lock somebody up to then switch out to your Dragonite to start setting up or something.
I mean, you can lock them in a Roost as well. That's that's something that we see all the time.
Gotcha.
So, say they Dragon Dance and then you hit them with Freeze Dry or whatever, and then, or you sub, and then maybe if they try to roost off your hit, then you can just encore them back into whatever. So it's like you got to play the game, but it's pretty easy to play with this Pokemon.
Yeah, I dig it, man. So basically, that's going to be it for the Pikalytics side. Definitely go check out some stats if you want to deep dive there. We highly recommend it as usual. Pokemon DB, Pikalytics, Cerebi, Bulbapedia. These are all of the big resources if you're not aware. As usual, we appreciate everybody for sticking around to the end of the video. If you have, smash all of those buttons. We really appreciate it on this climb to 1,000 subscribers. Like Zero said, make sure you hit that bell button to stay notified every time we put up a new How to Use guide on the channel. And until next time, I've been Gym Leader Justin.
And I'm Zero.
Council's adjourned.